stocks I'm buying now, July 2020 edition. Oh my goodness, guys, I am so excited to make this video for you here today, okay? This is the first episode I have done in quite a while. There haven't been 3 stocks all at the same time that I felt like buying in the same month in quite a while, but we actually have 3 here today, and I'm happy because these are my favorite videos to make each and every month. So when I can't make them, it makes me sad. I'm like literally, these are my favorite videos I make the entire month, going into 3 stocks that I'm actually buying and planning on buying in the current month, okay? Now, in terms of these 3 stocks, one of these stocks is what we call a boring dividend stock, okay? One of these stocks is a value stock that I think I'm going to make some pretty good gains on over the next couple years. And the last one will be a high-risk, high-reward stock that gets your blood flowing a bit. So we have quite a bit of diversification. It's not just like all these are super high growth or all of them are dividend. You know, we have a mixture of 3 different stocks. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure you smash the thumbs up button if you have not already. We're going for 7,777 within the first 48 hours of this video being released. I think we can hit it, guys. And just so you know, down there in the description, the first link, it's going to be to a video I created, which is how to create a low risk, high reward stock account from scratch. It's a completely free video. If you want to check it out, it's going to be the first link down there in the description. Okay, guys, let's start getting into this. Okay, stock number 1 of these 3. This is the quote unquote boring dividend stock, which, by the way, to me, dividend stocks aren't boring. Okay, I know they're not as cool as some of the growth stocks and things like that, but I still love receiving that dividend money. Each and every month I receive dividend money, and you know what I do? Go ahead and invest that money into more stocks. I think there's something kind of cool about that, but people call it boring, okay? Walgreens Boots Alliance, ticker symbol WBA. This is a first stock of the 3. It's a $42 stock here today, okay? I actually love Walgreens' business model. I mean, I used to work for the company. I know it very well. I used to be an investor of the company many, many years ago. And the valuation hasn't been that appealing until very recently. And now I actually love this one as a dividend stock. It's kind of a recession-proof business almost, which is something not many companies can say. Okay, think about Walgreens, right? Why do you go to Walgreens? Okay, you need a box of Band-Aids and you need it, you know, very conveniently. You might go to Walgreens for that, okay? You need a toothpaste. You go to Walgreens, okay? You need a pregnancy test. I mean, I think we all been there, right? You know, a few days late and it's like, what's going on here? Let's go get a pregnancy test. You go to Walgreens for that. And man, I never realized how much makeup was sold at Walgreens till I worked for Walgreens many years ago. And I just realized, like, dang, a lot of people actually buy makeup. And actually those companies, from what I remember, actually pay Walgreens substantial amounts of money just for their product placement in the aisles. Think about that, okay? So not only is Walgreens making money every time those items are sold, but actually the companies pay money for those spots, which is absolutely extraordinary, okay? So also, Walgreens, huge makeup supplier, and a lot of people love the company for cosmetics, okay? So a lot of needs-based items, when you need it conveniently and it's a needs-based item, you go to Walgreens, okay? And let's not forget the cash cow of the business. It is the pharmacy, okay? The pharmacy, that is the cash cow of the business. That's where they make the big money. Let's put it that way. The profits, okay? That is what goes on at Walgreens. So like I said, I love this business model. It's about as close to recession-proof as you can pretty much find, other than maybe, I don't know, a grocery store or something like that, okay? Now, in terms of Walgreens Boots Alliance, valuation-wise, it's a $37 billion market capitalization. It has a PE ratio of 10.8 and a forward dividend yield of almost 4.5%, okay? 4.48% to be exact. Most years, Walgreens does raise their dividend, something to keep in mind. So likely over time, a dividend could get bigger. But let's just say, for instance, they keep that dividend the exact same over the next year. If I have $100K invested in that stock, I will get paid out $4,480 during the course of that year, just assuming they keep the dividend the same. In terms of dividends, not even, you know, hopefully I'll get stock price gains in the stock as well. But even if I don't get stock price gains and somehow the stock price doesn't move the entire year, I'll still receive $4,480 during the course of a year in dividends, which I can go buy more Walgreens stock or any stock out there, okay? I love that. Valuation-wise, well, this is so compelling. This is why I love this one as a dividend stock, not just because of those dividends that will throw me off, but look at the forward P. It's under 7. It's under 7 on the stock, which is extremely low. we know Amazon made a move a couple years ago. They bought PillPack, right? I know not everybody keeps up with all these deals and whatnot, but absolutely Amazon is a threat to every company out there, including Walgreens, okay, when they make a move like this. Just like, when they bought Whole Foods, it's like, they were a threat to grocery stores. And so anytime Amazon gets in anything, it is scary. It scares people. But in my opinion, the valuation on Walgreens has just probably come down a little too much, in my opinion, based upon some of these worries. It's something you always have to deal with. It's Amazon. They are a big threat. But at the end of the day, they're not taking over the pharmacy game today, and they're not taking over tomorrow. 20 years from now, who knows? Maybe Amazon is the dominant pharmacy player out there. I wouldn't doubt it at all. But as of right now, in the next 5 years, I don't really see too much changing as far as market share goes there, okay? And that goes back to my safety here, okay? It's a 4P under 7. So if I had to pay a really rich valuation for Walgreens, yeah, I would worry a lot about PillPack and what could happen there over time. But when I'm getting a company for a 4P under 7, and I'm getting it for a price to sales ratio of 0.27, that gives me definitely a lot of protection because the valuation is so low on this one. So I think this is kind of the perfect dividend stock in my personal opinion. I just love this one as a dividend stock. That's the first stock up of these three. Stock number 2 of 3 here. This one is the value stock. Let me give you a hint. Let me show you a picture. Does that picture ring a bell there? What about this picture? Oh, I'm just getting hungry. Look at these pictures. Look at this picture. Oh my gosh, I'm getting hungry. Do these hints give you any clue? The Cheesecake Factory. Ticker symbol on this one is cake, okay? Does it get better than that? It's a $21 stock here today. This is stock number 2 of 3. I'm super excited about this one. I started buying this one this past month. Actually, I think it was just like a week or 2 ago. And started building up the position. And I plan to continue to build this position up throughout July. I mean, I love the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, just look at that. Ooh, look at all those cheesecakes. A lot of you guys probably know the Cheesecake Factory restaurant. You've been there before. Every single soul in the history of the planet loves the Cheesecake Factory. Even the sixth God, he loves the cheesecake. Why you got to fight it with me at cheesecake? The NBA, those players love the Cheesecake Factory. You might see me posted up at that Cheesecake Factory in one of the Teslas. I hit $1,200 here today. Holy smokers, okay? Even short sellers of the cake stock, even the short sellers, I heard they secretly eat on Cheesecake Factory as well. And they're like, oh, I don't like the Cheesecake Factory. I'm short selling the stock. And there they are stuffing their face with some cheesecake, okay? And let me just tell you, we're about to serve these shorts a piece of cheesecake in their face, okay? These people want to short the stock. They want Cheesecake Factory stock to go to $0. They've been shorting and shorting. Oh, it's going to 0. It's going to 0. They want to see those 45,000 employees lose their jobs so bad. Oh, nothing would make them as happy as those 45,000 people losing their jobs and those families basically having to go on unemployment. They would just love that so much, those short sellers. And I think they got another thing coming for them, those short sellers, okay? I understand like the short thesis around this, but then in April, a game changer happened. They raised $200 million through a strategic investment by Roark Capital. And basically for the Cheesecake Factory, it's just all about getting through this Rona mess, okay? There's nothing wrong with the company. The company's doing amazing. The restaurants are packed. The to-go orders, the delivery orders are amazing. The company's doing amazing. It's just caught in a really rough Rona situation where the government literally said you got to close down all your restaurants along with every other player out there in the restaurant game. Literally close your dine-ins. So it was just a rough situation. It was all about getting through. And once that deal happened, I mean, as a short seller, like, what do you have to go off of? Now the odds that Cheesecake Factory goes under in this whole situation, you get your way and you get those 45,000 employees to lose their jobs and you hope that the stock goes to 0. I know you were hoping for that, but it just got much more unrealistic now that $200 million was raised. And keep in mind, if for any reason they needed to raise more capital, you think Roark Capital is not going to give them more capital to get through it? Yes, of course they are, as well as plenty of other venture funds, because they realize the Cheesecake Factory is an amazing business model anytime other than a Rona situation when you're forced to close down your dining rooms and things like that. And I've been to the Cheesecake Factory several times over the past couple of weeks. I can tell you it has been crazy busy, okay? Crazy busy, okay? So when I look at Cheesecake Factory stock, it's been everywhere over the past 52 weeks, okay? I mean, in the March lows, it reached all the way down to under $15 a share in those March lows when the market was just getting absolutely tore up. And it was like, everybody was afraid that every single company out there was going to go bankrupt, right? Under $15 a share, and it's been all the way over $45 a share. In my opinion, this is a stock that's $20, $21, let's say, somewhere around there roughly, even let's say $22. In my opinion, the stock's going to likely double up over the next 2 to 3 years. I'm very, very confident that this stock will be a $40+ stock again in the future, and I will double up my money over the next 2 to 3 years. Now, I have seen some folks that actually think it's going to happen faster than that. Some folks think, business is going to return just to normal actually in 2021. I am a little more pessimistic when it comes to that. I think more of a return to business in like 2022, 2023 is more realistic, and that's why I think this stock will be over $40 in about 2 to 3 years from now. Think about this, okay? One is, if there were actual legit worries just a couple months ago about the Cheesecake Factory potentially going under, and so a ton of these short sellers, placing bets that, it's going to go to zero. Imagine how many other smaller restaurant chains that can't get a $200 million capital infusion. Imagine how many of those are going under or going to go under, right? Imagine that. There's going to be much less competition in the restaurant space than there basically has been in maybe a decade, or maybe around the Great Recession time or something like that. There's a lot of these mom and pop restaurants, and a lot of the restaurants that got overcapitalized that honestly they're not going to be able to make it in the end. So a lot of those will end up going under, okay? So there's going to be less competition in the restaurant space. Also, there's a company, Cheesecake Factory, that has gotten better and better at to-go orders through this Rona situation, right? Dining rooms closed, people still want to eat Cheesecake Factory. So then you go ahead and place to-go orders. And I know at a lot of the Cheesecake Factories, they have, 6 to 10 spots reserved just for cars pulling up for basically curbside pickups all the time. It's really quite busy, and it's actually one of the most, if not the most successful big restaurant chain out there at doing to-go orders, okay? They're getting better and better at delivery and being on the delivery platforms as well. So if you want to order through an app, basically, and you want the food delivered to your house, they've gotten better and better at that. And those are two categories that they've grown massively during this Rona, and their business has gotten to a lot better place. And lastly, dine-in. In my opinion, it's going to fully return by 2022, 2023. In my opinion, 2021 will be the year of recovery as far as the dining business. By the way, the dining business, in most locations has been 50% to 65%. And, it's just the wait times are pretty substantial at Cheesecake Factory because still a ton of people want to go there to dine in. But eventually, they'll be able to have 100% capacity again. I think 2021 will be the year of rebuilding the dine-in business in a big way again, getting it back to capacity. And then 2022 and 2023, the business is going to be just the same dine-in wise, if not better than it's pretty much ever been before, okay? Now, what are the risks with this stock? I've got to always talk about the risks, right? Well, the risk is the whole U.S. economy shuts down again for months and months, okay? So the government, puts out a federal mandate or something like that, shutting down the whole economy again. Dine-in restaurants are closed, or restaurants in general are closed, and it would be for months and months and months. That's obviously the big risk. I think the Cheesecake Factory could likely get capital again from Roark Capital or for somebody else to get through a situation like that, but it is a risk. It is absolutely a risk at the end of the day. I don't see this happening because if this does happen, there's going to be the unemployment rates are already so ridiculously high that they'll go to just numbers that it will take us a decade plus to come back from. So I honestly do not see a situation where the entire U.S. economy shuts down again for many, many months. It's just at this point in time, it's too, I guess you can say, unrealistic. Okay, so the reward, what's the reward potential here? I make a 2x on my money over the next 2 to 3 years, and I think that's very, very likely. And I'm happy. If I can get a 2x in a matter of 2 to 3 years, I gotta take it. I gotta take it. Okay, so that was stock number 2 of 3 I'm buying in July 2020. Stock number 3. This is the high risk and the high reward stock, okay? This is the only stock I have that's in the MJ space, okay? If you don't know the MJ space, just dance around a little bit and you might figure it out, okay? It's the only one I have, and it is the Planet. Planet 13, ticker symbol PLNHF on this one, stock number 3 of 3. It's $1.58. It's for sure the cheapest stock I own, okay? Actually, decent sized market cap on this company, so don't let just the fact that it's a quote-unquote penny stock fool you. This stock actually has a market capitalization of over $200 million. So it's not like, it's a smaller company compared to most of the companies I invest in, but it's not like it's a teeny tiny stock like, some of these other penny stocks that have, a $2 million market capitalization or something on that. Planet 13, as of right now, they own one massive superstore that does crazy business here in Las Vegas, the city I live in, okay? Planet 13, amazing place. Yeah, it's just, if you ever come to Vegas, even if you're not into MJ, you gotta go to the Planet. You have to go to Planet 13, even if you're not into MJ. Just trust me, come to the Planet, experience it, see the restaurant inside, see, the way the floor plan is laid out. It's absolutely amazing. Over time, they're talking about potentially even adding a nightclub, a lounge to the property. They have the space to do it. It's right off of the strip, essentially. So it's funny, I can actually go from Planet 13 to go to the mall there. I think it's called Fashion Show, and I get to check out a few stores that I have stocks in there, and then I can go straight up the road to actually the Wynn right there, and it's like I can hit them all at kind of the same time and check in on business at all in, but it's right off the strip. It's an amazing location, being that close to the strip, and tons of people, if they drove to Vegas, they drive their cars to Planet 13, and also if you go there on a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, pretty much any night, you're going to see a ton of Ubers and Lyfts coming in and out, taking people basically, from the hotels over to Planet 13, because keep in mind, not everybody drives a car to Vegas. Some people fly in and then they need an Uber or Lyft over there. So ton of business, okay? The company has pivoted and focused so much because the Las Vegas Strip was closed for many months, right? Because of Rona situation, right? So they had to pivot the whole business to more focus on actually Nevada and not just like tourist guests, okay? So home delivery, curbside pickup. This is actually becoming a big business for Planet 13 now. And they've done a phenomenal job as far as building the local business up. And this is huge. Now, as far as their 2020 US objectives, one is they're supposed to open a second superstore. This one's going to be in Santa Ana, California. That's supposed to open at some point. That's really going to open actually in 2021. It's just kind of they're getting it built out this year. Hopefully open in maybe 1Q or 2Q of 2021, and then acquire more licenses for a lot of these other big cities that would easily support a superstore like Planet 13. As far as their 5-year US objectives, they want to have 8 or more superstores in Tier 1 markets across the US. And that's pretty much in line with what I think they can do. I think they can have 5 to 10 locations over the next 5 years. So by the end of, let's say, 2025, you think about so many of these major metropolitan areas. I think they could easily support a Planet 13 and would love to basically have a Planet 13 in their city, okay? So that's definitely something I see. I think it's genius that they're building the brand in Vegas, right? So many people love to travel to Vegas, and Vegas is known as a place that, things are legal, whereas in a lot of other states, things aren't legal yet. So people, come here, they experience Planet 13, they, know the Planet 13 brand, they love the Planet 13 brand, and then when Planet 13 goes and gets in some of these other cities and goes to LA, and goes to Seattle, and goes to Miami, and goes to New York City and some of these other markets over time, right? A ton of customers in those markets will already be familiar with the Planet 13 brand. They'll know it, and when they open, they're going to tell their friends and family members, hey, we got to go check out the Planet, okay? So I think it's genius that they've been building the brand in Vegas first. I actually really like this management team over there, okay? Why? Well, there's a few things. One is when it comes to CFO, he has 17 plus years in investment banking. Planet 13 is going to have to raise more money over the coming years to more than likely continue to expand the business in more of a rapid fashion, right? If they just wait for the profits to pour in and then pour that into a property, it's going to take longer. It makes a little more sense, in my opinion, to raise money, get these locations built out, because they'll be huge profit centers. And so when I look at somebody like him that has a ton of investment banking experience, I look at that as, very valuable. Also, when it comes to the co-CEOs, okay, both these gentlemen have been basically in the government before, okay? So they understand how to deal with a lot of these, politicians and people that are in office, especially locally. They understand, how to talk to them, how to deal with them, because they've been in those positions before. And so I think that is huge. I think in this business, which is a new age business, at the end of the day, you got to get the elected officials of those different markets to agree on this, right? I think it's really important to be able to speak the same language and understand where they're coming from. So I love that the management team has experience in government, okay? It's not just about building more and more superstores. They also are building some great brands simultaneously while they build the superstore business that they can sell to all the other retailers out there that sell these products, okay? They're building a brand called Trendy, okay? If you want to look more into these brands, go ahead and look more into them. I'm not going to, go into depth on them. They own the Medicine brand. They own a brand called Leaf and Vine. Dreamland Chocolate, I think, has massive potential. You think about this. There's going to be, over the next 10 years, there are going to be certain brands that are built, consumer packaged brands in this space that will become the next billion-dollar brands, okay? The next billion-dollar brands that everybody recognizes and they love those products. And Dreamland Chocolates could very much be one of those brands, okay? The HaHa Gummies brand. There's another one that has massive, massive potential in my opinion, okay? The Planet M brand. When you think about all these different brands, they have huge opportunities in front of themselves, okay? So here's what I look at, okay? I'm looking at a superstore opportunity where basically right now they have one store. It's a great superstore that's super busy here in Vegas. By the way, it's been really, I've done channel checks there several times. It's been really busy as it is. Never mind, imagine as Vegas comes back, which Vegas is gonna take about a year to 2, maybe 3 years to get fully back. But imagine, it's already so busy. Imagine how busy the stores are going to be in a year or 2 years from now. It's going to be extraordinary. So they have their one store now. They should be able to get to a place where they have at least 5 stores within 5 years, if not more than 5 stores. Remember, these are superstores that do huge volumes. Then you have the brands opportunity, which we're talking about. If they can build out some of these brands successfully over the next decade, some of these brands will be worth billions of dollars in themselves. Forget about the superstore business, just the brands they own, like the Dreamland Chocolates and HaHa Gummies. If they expand these and build these brands super strong, it's game over, okay? Now, in terms of the risk with this stock, obviously it's an OTC stock. So OTC stocks have different regulations that are much lesser than some of these other public companies. Buying an OTC stock is not the same as buying Apple stock, okay? I can just tell you that straight up. So that is definitely a risk that it is an OTC stock and it is a lower price stock in general. But like I told you guys, just because it's $1.58 doesn't mean it doesn't have a decent sized market cap on it. It's over a $200 million market cap, okay? Which means there's a lot of investors other than just myself that understand that this company has a high probability of being very successful when it comes to building out their superstores over time and building out their brands simultaneously. And this is one of those rare opportunities you get in the stock market of a stock that literally has a legit chance to 10x or more than 10x over the next decade. And all it is left up to is for execution. All they have to do is execute. And it's a hard thing to do and execute on a high level. But if this company can do it, and I've seen the way they've executed with this property in Vegas and the way they pivoted the business when it was like in a scary time when it was like, man, are they going to go under something? They pivoted the business. When I see the way they've executed so far, it makes me very confident that this company is going to continue to execute over the next 5-10 years. And it's a potential 10x stock. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, let me know what you think about these 3 stocks in that comment section. I would love to hear from you guys as always. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget about the free resource, first link in the description.